how's everybody doing? It's Thursday night. The weather is really nice. I'll probably open the garage doors up here in a minute just to kind of let that air out a little bit. It's always nice to have the garage doors open. This is perfect temperature for working, doing stuff. I'm sure everyone else is probably doing the same if you live in the Midwest. But in today's video, we have a couple things we need to address. If you guys saw the last video, if you haven't, you need to go back and check it out. But at the end, I think I showed you guys the Cummins is broken. The flex plate in it is actually where the starter gear is welded to the outside of it. It broke all the way around it, and it's just completely loose. And I don't know if it was like I don't think it was a torque converter issue necessarily, because it's just a stock flex plate. If it was too much for the truck, I think there was just something wrong. Maybe it had a cracked weld or something the whole time, because it always kind of had a weird noise, I noticed, since I swapped to auto. But I just never thought anything of it because it always started and it went away. So anyways, I'm going to pull this truck in and get the torque converter, get the transmission pulled back, get the flex plate off at least, and then I'll go pick my new one up tomorrow night. And we do have 2 issues with Mason's truck, and we have to go to a race in like 5 weeks. So first issue, the Redline tuner box is not working. We don't know if it was like a bad map sensor maybe again, so that's what we're about to try. We're gonna switch the map sensor out and hopefully it starts working again. And issue number 2, the transmission was doing some weird stuff, as you guys saw in the last video. So we were thinking it was a valve body issue. We tightened the band up a little bit. We're gonna hopefully it was just a band, and we can't hopefully just tightening the band is actually what is going to be fixing. Hopefully tightening the band actually did fix the truck, but we went to drive it after we tightened the band up, and we changed the fluid in it, flushed all the old stuff out, got new fluid in it, and we can't get it to slip because it's not making enough power with the tuner off. So we don't know. I mean, it's a big power difference whenever that thing's not on, and it's not going to be fast enough. I can tell you guys that right now. So no option. I mean, we either have to fix it or we have to do something. That's the main priority right now. I do still want to get my truck moved in because it is just absolutely horrible not having a truck. You gotta get it fixed. That was a terrible explanation. I'll probably edit that out. Okay, so if you guys have never changed your map sensor on your 98.5 to 02, is located right where, let's see, I'll use this piece of hose as my pointer. This is my pointer stick. It's right there. That's your map sensor. The pigtail going into that plugs into the map sensor. So we're going to remove that and switch it out with one on the Cummins. The Cummins does not use a map sensor because it's P-pumped, so we will not need it. I can just take it out as long as that hole's plugged on that. That's all that matters. And I know it's good because it's brand new. For some reason it has a brand new one in it. So we're just going to switch that out and see if that takes care of the issue. If not, I'm going to go and check all the wiring on everything where we're tapped in. Be honest with you guys, it's not the prettiest thing ever whenever you go to put one of these Redline boxes on. You definitely could do it a cleaner way, but this thing is kind of purpose built, so that's the reason behind the wiring, just using these little wire taps. I mean, I know it's not the 100% correct way to do it, but I don't really know how else you would do it. So we're just going to go ahead and switch the map sensor first, and then we'll check these connections. So we got the map sensor here robbed out of the Cummins, but we think hopefully bad one back in it. So now we are going to get this put in Mason. thing and see if it's working and sit here and power brake it. See how much boost it'll build, how much smoke it'll put out. I know it's kind of silly, but it's really the only way to tell without driving half a mile to go to the road. So just gonna let it warm up a little bit before I start revving it up real hard. And I'll give you guys a little walk around if you're new to the channel. It's really dirty right now, but so we put the new map sensor in. That didn't take care of the issue. The display and everything works on the red line box, but it just doesn't do anything as far as adding power. It's very obvious, you can tell. But I went and checked all my wires here where they plug into the TPS. I still have good connection there. And here's your pump ground it wants you to use, and then here's your actual tap that I want you to use, and all this stuff has good connection. We went and checked our connections back where we've had to extend our wiring harness on it, and yeah, I'm running out of ideas really fast. I don't know what else it could be other than the tuner just bad. These are just kind of an old school tuner and not really a lot of tech help on them, so just kind of how it is. But we're gonna try a couple more things, and other than that, I don't know. We'll have to just see. Have to see. So I started working on the Ford. I got the drive shaft pulled out. This thing is getting really rusty. I'm gonna have to paint it or something. Do something to it. It doesn't look as good as it did when I first put it in there. It's probably because it's not leaking any oil anymore. So there's no oil all over it. But thought I'd show you guys something a little different I had to do. This is actually this is called a combination joint, and basically so this, let me think here. So this is a 1410 style U-joint. This diameter and the length between these caps is this is a 1410 yoke is what it is. Okay, well that Ford yoke where it accepts the drive shaft is a 3850. So there's one company that makes these, and I need to stock up on them. And basically it adapts your 1410 to a 3850. Another fun thing I had to do was I had to I had to buy another 1410 U-joint so that way I could use the caps off of it for it's just weird. It's really confusing, and I need to have a spare in the glove box because if I'm ever 150, 200 miles away from home, or however far away from home, and this breaks, I'm not gonna be able to get one at a parts store. So yeah, that's me slacking there big time. Thought I'd show you guys up under here messing with while I was taking the drive shaft out. I noticed that the weight of this hose actually pulled this little cooler tab down. It was bent down a little bit, so that's kind of scary. I bent it back up. Hopefully it stays up there. It's not really, there's not a lot of super huge amount of weight on them, so I don't know. Hopefully everything's good there, but I'd suck for that to pour all my fluid out and have to buy another one. This thing's not super expensive, but I definitely don't want to buy another one. So I'm now underneath the truck. Now I've got to unplug my anteater wiring harness. There's just a plug here and then a plug there. I'm gonna take my bracket off here for my shifter, and then I need to take, let's see, these transmission lines off, and then I will take the transmission mount out. As you guys can see, looks like the Menards transmission mount's working out perfect. You guys didn't see that, it's in one of the earlier videos. And yes, that transmission line is zip tied to that four-wheel drive shifter. I'm just not going to talk about it right now. And yes, that's cardboard in that hole right there. But we've just been enjoying it as a two-wheel drive truck, so don't be hating. Here's the damage. It ain't gonna start, promise you that. So without further ado, I'm gonna get this mount pulled out here, get the cross member out, take the lines off of it. I'll probably try to, I'll probably just go ahead and pull the transfer case off. Really don't want to, but it's just easier. It's gonna be sitting on the jack for a while, so I don't know, we'll see. But without further ado, I'm gonna get started on it. Okay guys, so now I have all the wirings unhooked. I'm leaving the lines unhooked until last because they're gonna leak. So I don't want to be working under leaking lines. So I got the mount out, cut up with a nice OSHA-approved piece of wood, and we're going to put the cross member back up in it just so that we can rest on it. Once I get all the transfer case bolts out, and I will just pull that out, and then I'll move up front and I'll get my start working on the torque converter bolts, and then I will do the bell housing bolts and we'll slide her back. So. We got our transfer case out. Now the only thing we have left to do is pull the torque converter bolts out and the bell housing bolts, slide this thing back. Torque converter bolts are not gonna be the funnest this go around because you know, our flex plate being broken, we don't have a way to turn the engine over with a pry bar like I usually can. So I'm gonna have to go to the front. I mean, it's only a couple feet, but I'm gonna be moving a lot to try to line the bolts up. Still not a big deal, just kind of an extra step I didn't want to take. And like I said, the absolute last thing I'm gonna do is take those bolts loose, because that's just the last thing I want to do. So next, you're gonna take, whenever you go to take these torque converter bolts out, this would be the same if this drivetrain was in a Dodge. So you take this cover off, it's got 2 10mm bolts, and then you're gonna turn your engine over. Normally you can do it with a pry bar right here. Just stick your finger in here, be careful. You don't want to pinch your finger in here. And just until you feel a bolt and it feels like it's in the center of this hole. And then you'll take whatever kind of tool you want to use and hold the engine and take the bolt out and just do that. Rotate the engine, do it 6 times. Get all your torque converter bolts out. Got our little helper here. I wish you could turn the engine over for me. Make it a lot easier, but you don't have thumbs and you're a foot tall. Yeah, that's all I really have to do, guys. I'm not going to try to time lapse this. There's no way I can really record this. I guess I could hold it up in there somewhere, but it's just going to be the most repetitive thing. Just be excuses. I know I suck, but yeah, you just take all those out. So I'm going to do it real quick. So I got my converter bolts out. I'm getting ready to pull these bolts. I already got all of them loose in the amount of time I'm waiting on them. So I asked this smart ass to get me a couple extensions to take the trans out, and he gets every single one I own. Not funny. No, that's pretty funny. Here we go, now we can see. So we got this good light down here. You guys can see everything. Here's the transmission. But, so, this is literally how I pulled it out. Or how it's been since there it is. You've got to be kidding me. That's our flex plate. Well guys, I gotta run down to the old Walmart and get me some cat litter. I've got a massive mess going on down there. I don't want to let that sit there and soak too long. So I am gonna wrap up the end of the video. We got our drive shaft here. We went ahead and hit it with some spray paint real quick. I didn't really sand it down or anything. I just painted over the rust. Didn't want to have a lot of time in that, but we got our transmission out. We got it on the ground. And tomorrow we are going to go to Flat Out Diesel and get the new valve body for Mason's truck. And we're going to also pick up a new flex plate. Did I just say that? We're going to get a new flex plate for that. Pick up 2 valve bodies. The full manual valve body for Bailey's truck, and then Mason's truck's new valve body. We did determine, we're thinking that the wiring harness, actually I can't remember what he said. Possibly something inside this is shorted out and it may need repaired. So I don't know what route we're gonna go. It's just really hard to find a tuner box like these that will, you know, put out the amount of power that these will. So if you guys have any suggestions, please leave a comment below. What would you guys suggest we run on this truck if we end up having to go with another one? Leave a comment, let us know. But I think for now he's going to try to send that off and see what they say. This is kind of where Bailey's motor is at. I do want to show it to you guys real quick. Got the manifold on it. We've just been really tied up with that other Duramax project and haven't had a lot of time. But this thing is, we just got to time the pump and put the front cover on it. put a starter on it, just small stuff. We're just trying to really do it very nicely, do it nice and clean. We're not trying to get in a hurry, but it's starting to get nice out, and I know he wants to have the truck this summer and be able to enjoy it. So thanks for tuning in, guys. If you like the video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. I love seeing this channel grow. We're getting bigger and bigger by the day. It's all thanks to you guys, so it's really motivating and makes me want to continue to keep doing it. So I appreciate you guys a lot, and we'll see you on the next one.